What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the B3 podcast. I'm your host, Brett, and it's just me and Matt GPT.
Woo.
Tanner's gone.
Yes.
He wanted to talk about Husker football, but no one was ready for that. We have our partners, Elite Nutrition. Check them out at EliteNutritionOmaha.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. Go to the store in Omaha or Lincoln, yell B3.
Get a free shaker.
Rosewood Block, they make the best cutting boards and barbecue. Fully customizable. Check them out at rosewoodblock.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. You can also come to Omaha Barbell and just get a great workout in with a great experience, and there's no discount code.
And complete your soul.
Yes, you complete me. That's our slogan.
Yep.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, Tanner's calling me. I'm just going to... Let's see what he's doing. I'll just send back, I'm on my way. Anyway, if you like what we're doing, like, subscribe, share, follow. If you don't want to look at us, just listen.
Yeah. You don't have to. Get YouTube Premium. That's been a game changer.
YouTube Premium. I know. I have it here because we play the videos at the gym. The no commercials thing is pretty.
Dude, I think like being able to turn my phone off, like close the screen, and just like listen to it.
Oh yeah,
is pretty fucking money.
Yeah, except if you listen to podcasts, like they're edited, they can only say like so many fucks.
Yeah.
If you do that, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But if you listen to them on Apple, then it's not.
Yeah, you get all the good stuff.
Yeah, all the good vittles. It was just the 4th of July, but I mean barbecue season started Memorial Day basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Well.
So there was some acquisitions made. I bought an offset Yoder from a friend of mine. And then Matt bought one of my drums.
And I bought a drum from a friend of mine.
Yeah. Yeah, so this really just went around. Tanner texted me back. He just left. There's 2 guys running in steel helmets in the parking lot across the street. I wonder if they're doing like medieval training.
Oh, I hope that'd be great.
I can't believe we didn't get a video.
Right?
Let us send him. Oh, maybe he's got a video. That's great.
Video?
If he has the video, maybe we'll splice it in. He said like night helmets. Oh, it's totally fucking.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably one of them. He's probably so sad they didn't invite him.
No way, dude. You know how much steel they'd have to use for his head?
He's probably like, dude, I've been on the waiting list. Why is no one inviting me?
You gotta buy 2 helmets?
Yeah. So you've ran the drum smoker.
Yeah. I did put the oil dry on the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's all tip. If you have a drum smoker and you haven't seen any of the videos, cleaning them sucks.
Yep.
You have to pressure wash them out. But you can put floor dry in the bottom. I believe you could use also unscented cat litter.
Probably.
And it doesn't cause any problems, but then you can just scoop it out and not have to pressure wash the bottom, and then you can just degrease the sides if you want to. But game changer.
Yeah. It worked well. I did some wings on it just to like break it in. I thought that was a low cost potential fail.
Yes.
Worked out well. They got a little too done. So I just didn't pay attention to them as much.
What's 2 done? Because I mean, like 200 you can run on wings and they're still pretty
like
solid.
2 done is in like I didn't turn them, and so the bottom's got too much char. So they went
crispy.
a little past char into the burned range.
Yeah. If anybody's out there and they're a good like stainless steel welder, here's what you need to make: a giant box that I can just put all my wings in.
Yes.
That I could just flip all of them at one time.
Yeah.
So they get cooked on both sides.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what needs to be made, and maybe it's out there. Not one of those like shrimp baskets. It has to be bigger.
Yeah.
Like make it custom to a drum or whatever machine you have.
Yeah. Let it be so I can put at least 20 wings in there.
Yes. Yeah. Base it off of a Costco 6-pack of wings. Because if I could turn like 2 pounds of wings at one time, that would be.
That is the worst. You're out there like turning each wing. Like,
and on those drums or your green egg or any of those, your fingernails, they're melting off while you're trying to do it.
Right.
Your arm hair's gone because there's no fast way to do it.
No, and there's a lot of heat that comes out of that barrel.
Yeah. It doesn't. Yeah. It's a gateway drum, if anybody's wondering. So it has the 2 intakes, which makes a big difference.
Big.
So
yeah. So the first time I fired it up, I was watching some of the old vids to see, and one guy was like, "Oh, I just keep these wide open and get that thing fired up and just watch it until it gets to just a little over 300, then I close them down." Well, once it starts to warm up, it gets hot real fast. So watch. The second time I did it, I kept them closed when it started. I left the top off until I saw it like get going a little bit, and then put the lid on and left them closed down. And that worked. It took a while to get up there just because I don't think it had all the air, but it was a lot easier. I didn't feel like I had to like babysit the thing the whole time.
Yeah, I kind of go both ways. Kind of with sometimes I'll leave them wide open and then put the lid on. But I have found once you drop them down, I have done it where I just like take the lid off and let some of the heat out, and then put the lid back on. I don't know if that's like the best way.
Yeah, that'd probably work.
But I have done that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like keep the vents down. It takes like a million years to get it hot.
Yeah. So I've only run it. So I did wings. I did some chicken thighs on it. And then I had a big chuck roast that I turned into poor man's burn ends.
Oh, you did that on there too?
Yep.
Oh,
so
nice.
I did that one on there.
Or you did them all hot and fast? You can do low and slow on there. You can.
I did. It was, I don't know, it was only about a 3.5 pound chuck roast. So it took, 4 hours or so to get done, running it around 300.
All right.
That turned out. I put a little pan, or I put a half pan in there with some water, and I left the roast over the pan. Like had seen some people would put it over the fire, and then they'll just like spin the rack and rotate it.
Yep.
To get it to go.
I've done that with the ribs. I
just left this one over the water pan the whole time, mostly because I was like, I'll just keep the grease in here. But it worked out well.
I did that with a brisket. I put the flat over the water pan. Yeah, if you want to buy a Gateway, by the way, and you're in Omaha, go to Helping You Barbecue. They have the drums there. I don't know if they have the extra racks, but right away I would buy a cover, an extra rack, and the hook scooper thing to clean it out.
I'm waiting for the hook scooper to come back in. I got the shelf.
Oh, yeah, you can get that shelf, the little side
there.
shelf. If you don't have a table.
The shelf is actually like I don't know, I want to say plastic, but it's one of those like cutting board plastics.
Oh, it's got a high temp deal.
So it's a high temp deal, but when you actually slide it onto the handle, it doesn't actually touch the barrel. It stays off about a half inch, which I think helps it. But I thought, like, just looking at the screen, I was expecting like a stainless steel kind of thing, but it worked out well.
I suppose it probably conducts heat if it's stainless steel.
Yeah, it would probably get pretty toasty if they did that. But it sits on there. It can also function as a cutting board, so they say.
The microplastics, bro.
More microplastics, more GMOs. Give them to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had that on there, which was really nice because I don't have like a table outside because I have the deck, which I'm rapidly running out of room on.
Some more smokers.
I know I have 5 cooking. Do I have 5? Yeah, 5 cooking appliances on our deck.
Really?
Yeah, I have the Flat Rock, the Timberline, the Pro 34.
Oh, you put the Pro 34
grill.
up there?
I wasn't going to.
It's like the ugly stepsister.
Yeah, I wasn't going to put it up there, but the guy who was helping with our deck, he was like, well, I got the skid loader here. I'm like, well, Matt's gone. I'll be nice, and I'll put all his smokers up there. And so he put everything up there and then put the railing up. And so, like, once the railing's up, there's no way to get you have to go through the house. So I think the Pro 34, I could get through the house.
Yeah.
With, like, the Timberline, not a fucking chance. Like, it's out there forever.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can never have enough.
Yeah, so I have all those up there, and we have, like, a small gas fire pit table thing, and we got a couple chairs to sit on to go around it. So
a lot of flammable stuff on a wood deck. So that's
yeah. But I did get it's a 48-inch silicone feeling fire mat that Amazon said was rated for 2,000 degrees, and thus far it has kept my deck from catching on fire.
Amazon doesn't ever lie.
No. So, but it did work because again, like I'm on the deck. It's kind of a pain in the butt to clean and manage. So the way I put the mat down, I took the charcoal basket out, set it on top of that, and then put all my charcoal and shit in there, and then put it back so that way like I caught all the little dusties and stuff so I could throw off. 'Cause I'm trying to keep the deck clean, but like you can definitely see the corner that I barbecue and grill in because it's just like fat man grease stain all over.
You just got to get a whole bunch of those like orange Traeger mats, the rubber mats.
I should get, yeah. But there's one other spot where when I set the Pro 34, because I had to use the Pro 34 because I was going to smoke a bunch of different stuff. So I had the Timberline going and the Pro going, and I set everything out that night. And when I went out the next day, apparently a raccoon had gotten on there and taken my grease bucket off of the Pro 34.
Those little thieving motherfuckers.
Yeah, but I didn't check it because it was on the far side. So I just go out there, start cooking. It's not until I'm like 2.5 hours into this cook Then I'm like, what the fuck is on the deck? And I've got 2.5 hours of like rib goo just like dripping out onto the deck.
Yucky.
So that part is well seasoned.
Nice. Have you seen the converter kits? So you don't have to have a bucket now? Some company makes it. I keep getting ads for it, and it looks like for the Traegers. If you have the bucket system, it makes it like a drawer, so you can pull it out, so you don't have to worry about animals getting into it. If I find it, I'll.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the ad was, but yeah, it like screws on, and then it gets rid of your bucket and puts like a drawer style to it.
I'd be all right with that. I mean, I don't. It's really up there as an emergency backup, or if I'm going to make something really messy. Like I've used it for the pork belly, because that pork belly burn ends are just super greasy and messy.
Yeah, same as your poop the next day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much the same consistency.
Yeah.
I think on the 3rd, so Thursday, I made shotgun shells.
Those are so good. If you don't know how to make shotgun shells, check out
This
Meat Church has them.
the first batch that I made that before I liked them, but they were kind of like, they were okay. But this one came out really good, and I'm glad because I actually like kept track of the recipe now. But I think like I wrapped them, I put them in the fridge. So when you wrap them in the bacon, I left them in the fridge for closer to 6 hours to like soften up. But then rather than cooking them a full hour, I actually only did them for maybe like 40, 45 minutes. So the pasta was a little more like al dente. Like you could taste the pasta a little bit in there, which I really liked.
Yeah, the wrapping them and put in the fridge where it's like minimum like 6 hours or overnight.
I think overnight would be better.
That's what I've done the last time or two. But you need to make sure the bacon gets all the way to the ends.
I ended up putting 2 pieces of bacon.
Yeah, you almost have to. And don't do thick cut.
Nope. I did thick cut the first time because I was like, ooh, I like bacon. But no, then it takes too long. And
yeah, and you still might end up with a little crispy ends on the shells. But it does soften them up.
Yeah, I even went so far as to like make sure when I wrapped the bacon, I turned it around so I had like the fattiest piece of the bacon on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
On like the edge
Good
to
call.
try to get it as gooey. Because that's been my biggest knock on like the ones I made in the past. Is like they had too much crunch to them.
Yep.
But I was like, no, they shouldn't be like that. But this batch came out well. I was trying to think. So I did a little bit different. So I had 2 boxes of the manicotti shells.
Yep.
And then I did a pound of ground beef, a pound of just regular Italian sausage. And I was like, as I was mixing it together, I'm like, this doesn't feel like it's enough meat. So I added another pound of, I think I just happened to have some like ground elk, but I think you could use ground beef or something else. Did that.
The trifecta.
And then the cheese, still used 8 ounces of cheese. And then I think I just used the honey hog seasoning, put a couple tablespoons in there. And I know at least this time I seasoned the shit out of them with honey hog, like after they were all wrapped.
Oh, yep.
Which I don't know if I've done before. Like I actually like held each one in my hand and like sprinkled and like rolled them and covered every side of it.
Oh, wow. You really went after it.
Really went after it. And then I used Duke's Sweet Heat barbecue sauce that I found at the old Hy-Vee.
Okay.
And that worked out pretty well.
So when they were done, you put the barbecue sauce on towards the end?
Yep, put that on towards the end, let it go for another. It only cooked for another 5 to 8 minutes maybe. But I think 10 to 15 would have been a little bit better to like tacky it up a little bit more. But
yeah, the real secret to the shotgun shells is get a piping bag with a big hole in it.
I just used the magic finger.
Yeah, it takes too long. So you just have to put your thumb on the end, and then you can squeeze the piping bag. But tip, when you're doing the piping bag, as it's filling, start pulling the piping bag out, or it'll blow the shell apart.
Yeah.
Because remember, you don't cook the shells. I mean, I think you can.
Yeah.
But they're hard when you're doing this, and it makes it easier. But yeah, they're super good. Meat Church has a recipe for them. Just his cook time is too long. Much like yesterday, I made some pimento cheese dip, and his recipe says 4 cups of cheese. And I was like, and Amber's like, that really looks like a lot. Are you sure? And I was like, I don't remember. Sure, it looks fine because whatever.
Yeah.
And then as I stood there for a while, I was like, that does seem like a lot. So I watched the video, and he's like, all right, go ahead and shred up like 2 cups of cheese. Or 16 ounces. I was like, well, that's not 4 cups.
Oh, 4 half cups.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Dang it.
Yeah, you got to pay attention sometimes to the old Meat Church. But the pimento cheese is solid also.
Yeah.
But yeah. So he got the drum rolling, and I bought a Yoder. the loaded Wichita from a buddy of mine that had it. And it was really quite the experience. First, me and old Heavy C went to pick it up in my truck, and I still had my TRX at the time, so it sits up a little higher. And we walk in the backyard, and we grab like one side of this, and there's not the slightest fucking chance we're picking this thing up. The thing weighs like 600 fucking pounds, just
Dude,
like
it's fucking heavy.
just curb weight, like just 600 pounds. That's like not with the racks and shit in it. So I was like, okay, I'll just come back with my trailer the next day. Well, then it rained, and I was like, this thing has like steel wagon wheels on it, and only 2.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, we're not going to drag this across this yard in the rain. So I brought my trailer, and at this point, I have a different pickup at this time. So still wouldn't have loaded it in that pickup either. Would have never made it.
No, lifting it up, impossible. Nope.
Yeah, so Matt and I wheel it out of the yard, up the ramps of my trailer. We used a single strap to tie it down. We're like, this won't move. It started to move on the way home, but it didn't tip over. It was fine.
It's fine.
And then
I was wondering if it was going to make it without moving.
yeah, and then I have Dominic come over to help me take it in my backyard because my driveway's like a slope. And he's like, where are we going? I was like, back there. And he's just like, he was like, oh.
Oh, fuck.
I was like, let's just go and don't stop moving. So we got it in my backyard, which I extended my patio last year for more smokers. Well, that wasn't the only, but the reason.
The main reason.
Amber comes home and she's like, so you're done with smokers, right? Which, I mean, I have a variety. I have a drum, a green egg, an offset, a
Like,
Traeger.
Erin was asking me about that, and she was like, you're done, right? Like, you have them all. I'm like, well,
No.
like, the only one I would need left really would be an offset.
Yeah. Yeah. So just surprise her, for her birthday or Christmas.
Just get a 1,000-gallon offset and roll it up in
Yeah,
a
you'd be like,
trailer.
hey, you know what? I didn't put it on the deck. It's 1,000-gallon. It's sitting in the driveway on its own trailer.
Yeah. So you can't park under the carport
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. I can't let the smoker get wet.
Yeah, that's the new smoke hut.
So yeah, the first weekend I had that, I just tried same thing like Matt. I had some chicken breasts left over, so we tried that, and Rob threw me some pecan wood when I bought the smoker. So did that, and they turned out pretty good. I'm just not a huge pecan wood fan, but managing the fire, the thing's so thick, it holds temperature really well. And I learned what I should have already known, that the metal door is just as hot as the rest of the smoker.
What?
Yeah. But I bought these gloves from Helping You Barbecue a while back. They're like this rubber material. You probably know someone with fire.
Okay.
It's like the rubber material. And I was using those to close the door, and I was like, man, I wonder how hot. I grabbed a log that was on fire, and it did not even budge those gloves.
Nice.
Yeah. I wouldn't hold it for like a long period of time, but I picked up a log that was on fire and moved it. Totally fine.
Totally fine.
But they're not they're not good with the dexterity.
I was going to say, they've got to be kind of limited on dexterity.
Yeah, like you can't like fine motor skill things, but you can pick up a hot log and move it around.
Pick up a hot log, pick up a brisket. Cool.
And what I did playing around, so then I did a brisket last weekend, which you have to babysit. Which the guys at Helping You Barbecue went out there, got some hickory splits from them and got some pointers. And they also have their own seasoning now. You can go check out. I think it's called the Trinity. It's like their salt, pepper, garlic. It's pretty solid if you need it. You can always, nice thing there is you can try all the seasonings. And you can try the barbecue sauces while you're out there. So Ron and John do a good job out there at Helping You Barbecue. But he was like, hey, you probably need to put a log on like every half hour. So I was like, okay. So I'm watching it. Well, I'd see the temperature start dropping. I'd go out to put a log on. Well, then I have to like blow on the fire. So I think I need to be better about that. But that Yoder has like a rack you start your fire on, and then they're like all your ash can drop down. I think that messes me up though. I think I need to just put the fire on the bottom like every other offset I've seen.
The hot coals.
Yeah, like every other offset I've seen run. And then my buddy that bought it, he had ordered the rack so you can grill on it right above, because that offset where your smoke box, your firebox is at, you can actually open that. It has a door on top so you can grill right on top of it. And they built this little box looking piece on top of that, and it's ported out in the bottom, so that gets super hot. So you can actually set like a pot on there if you want to heat something up, and that gets just as hot as the fire does, because it's just heating that steel up to get super hot. So it also has that. Right. But the brisket turned out pretty good. I just need to.
That was the one that I tried, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was good. It was different than before.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like different bad, different better. It was just different.
I think I've gotten, not that I'm like some champion, but I think I've gotten my pellet brisket consistency down. I can make those and nail them down like every single time without a problem. The drum takes a little more practice. which I got better last time, but then it was dirty. And then I think with the offset, I just need to practice some more. But overall, I think the offset, it was a lot better than I thought it would be.
Like the fire management wasn't as hard.
Yeah, and I think but a Yoder, you're going to pay some money for it.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy just like Derek bought like a one on Facebook Marketplace and Oklahoma Joe's one, and it's like, I don't think it holds heat very well. And
right. I would imagine those would be a lot more temperamental. Like you'd get bigger fluctuations. You'd burn through wood faster. You lose a lot through like the thinner metal.
Yeah. So that's going to be part of it. So if you want to get into an offset, yeah, you're going to want to probably spend some money on it.
A phase not too long ago, I did a bunch of research on making a smoke hut, like a little outhouse building.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Do a bunch of cold.
Where you just
smoke
like a bunch of hanging meats.
Yeah, you just hang a bunch of meats. And
Just
stuff
light a
in
fire in the middle of the room.
there. Kind of. So some of them are you light a fire down there. The others that I've seen is you have essentially a fireplace on the side, and so it works very similar to an offset, where you have like a firebox outside of the hut.
Oh, and there's chimney inside of it.
You just chimney inside, and so like you can, some of them like you can make longer chimneys to cool the smoke down. So like if you wanted to do stuff like bacon or cheeses or stuff like that, like it doesn't really get hot.
You just want to walk into a building and have just wieners hanging everywhere.
Just wieners, I can just walk through and just have them brush me on the face. Just let their juices run down my chin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be okay. I have a little bench in there that I can go in there and pleasure myself.
Didn't you just get rid of all your chickens?
No, they're still there.
Oh,
We're going to murder them here shortly.
Yeah, just turn the fucking coop into that.
That'd be a big fucking smoke. Listen, we're not having chickens anymore.
Yeah.
This is going to be a smoke hut.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great, dude. You could do like a smoke hut, but then people could rent it out as like a sauna.
Oh,
You come out smelling like hickory.
Yeah, I was going to say hickory sauna. My eyes really burn. Yeah, but it was cool.
Yeah, and you
wasn't
got your sweat on,
Yeah,
and you
smell
smell like
yourself.
hickory. Like Loki still smells like the smoker. Like and it's like a week later.
Yeah. I do really like where our house is, like, because we're kind of down in that, not really a valley, but down in like the
I
shallow.
believe they call that a holler.
A holler might be an appropriate term. Anytime I run the smoker, like our whole area right around our house just smells like brisket smoker or whatever I'm smoking. Like it smells so good.
Yeah, we have like a gazebo on our patio, and then the extension for the smokers. And I got the thing going, and Amber and I are sitting out there, and the smoke keeps like wrapping around your face. Gets kind of old after a little while. I mean, it smells good, but then you're just like trying to talk, and you're just like smoking cigarettes out there, basically. But yeah, overall, I think it was successful. First couple of runs with it.
Yeah. It was reassuring to hear that the fire management wasn't as hard as like at least I thought it would be.
No, and even like I kind of waited too long. I think I waited like 40 minutes to put a log on, and like it really struggled to get the fire going again because the embers that were there. But I think if I put it down on the coal bed, then I think it'll be fine. Because everybody I watch start fires, I'm not saying Yoder did it wrong because they obviously build great smokers, but anybody I've seen do it, they're always just on the bottom of the firebox. Now they do, some of them do make, I don't know if I can add it to mine. I mean, I probably won't, but they make like that propane fire starter. So you always have like basically a loose fire going in there.
Yeah.
And then you're just putting the wood on it. So the first time I tried to start the fire, that's my other tip I'll give. I just put a couple handfuls of lump charcoal on the rack, put a tumbleweed in there, and it took a while to get going. So the second time I used one of those little metal, they call them chimneys, you can fill with charcoal. I still use lump charcoal. A lot of people say don't use briquettes because then you still get a bit of the like whatever, that fake or chemical taste to them. So I used that chimney to start it, and then it was way better because that chimney gets fucking piping hot. So two things: don't burn your hand off, and when you're done with it, set it somewhere that will not start on fire, or your dog will lick. You know what I mean? Like those two. Like that's how I always watch like Loki. We have a Pomsky. I always watch him to make sure he's not getting too close to the smokers, because
what's that?
And it's funny. The next day, I was like, and it takes forever to cool down. So I couldn't put the cover on until next day because my brisket ran till like 8:30, 8:45 that night.
Yeah.
So I was like, next morning, I was like, oh shit. So I texted Amber and I was like, hey, the grease bucket is still hanging on the Yoder. Can you just take it off there so Loki doesn't just eat the grease out of it? Because, I mean, what dog wouldn't?
Right?
Hello. So, yeah, there's that too. But yeah, the chimney is tremendously better at lighting and getting it going.
Nice.
I don't know that I would use it for like my drum because it's way down in there. You could use it for my green egg maybe.
Yeah.
But you can fill it full and just stick the little thing under there.
One of the things I found that I saw and I was trying to find, but it's like a screw-on attachment for those little propane bottles, like the little blue bottles that you use for like the torch. But it has it's like a U shape, but it has a really long neck.
Yeah, I bought. Actually, I have one here. Me and Craig got them a while back. I need to take it home. It's just a giant torch. You can hook a propane thing to.
Yeah, it's just like, and you hook it, but it's just like a rigid pipe that goes up and like loops down, and so it'll reach down. The ones that people are talking about, like it reaches down perfectly to the bottom of the barrel, and so you can just light them that way
and just and then take it out.
Like I've got a big weed burner that I hook.
You could do the same thing with that.
Well, I hooked that to like a big 20-pound propane tank. And just go to town on anything that I don't want to live anymore in my house.
Can't you hook that to one of the small propane tanks too? It's the same nozzle, isn't it?
I don't know.
It would have to be because you can use them for like a travel George Foreman, right? Or not George Foreman, but a travel grill.
I don't know.
Because you're talking about like a 20-pound like you'd use for your grill, right?
Yeah. Like
it should be the same nozzle on it.
It should. Yeah, it should just thread into one of those little ones.
Yeah, because I think so. Because if you take like a little camping grill and people just set them off to the side and hook them in, or you can hook the other tank on there.
I just look into that.
I think it's if you go from natural gas, then all your innards have to change.
Yeah, all the stuff has to change because it burns different. But
and if not, I bet there's an adapter piece that goes from big to little, or whatever it takes to be. We can probably look at that one I have here. I should take that home. I don't know why I haven't yet.
Yeah, but otherwise, like when I just have like I think it's a MAP gas torch, but like I just use that to start a couple of those little tumbleweeds down there and start it up just fine.
I think if you're gonna do something again, you should just do that one where it cooks over the open flame, where you build that triangle, that metal like triangle just hangs over.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, or those like tables.
Yeah,
that table idea where you can just hang it, or you should get a Santa Maria and then we can all play around with it.
I would like a Santa Maria. I think would be really fun.
Which you could kind of do with an egg, because you can stack your racks up and leave it open.
Yeah,
if you want to.
True.
Because you can stay pretty close to the fire, and they make their egg spanders.
Yeah.
So you can do it that way a little bit.
Yeah. If I do any more cooking things, I need to find a different place to cook all my stuff.
That Santa Maria I'd probably put somewhere not on your deck that could start a fire.
I think the drum's as much fire as I want to have on the deck. Like even that makes me a little nervous, but
yeah. But I bet that egg you can make a Santa Maria.
Yeah.
Open it up and get the racks going.
Yeah, that or like having a big open pit that you can just like that has the angle thing or has the triangle above.
Just got a whole hog hanging on there.
Yeah, just hang something like that, or a little smokehouse, because I've got a spot down in the back by where we have our other fire pit. That's just a spot that we never use. That I've contemplated just putting one down there.
Yeah,
like just build a little smoke hut down there and try it.
Yeah, and actually a couple gadget reviews. I got that ThermoWorks. Amber got me that RFX, their wireless one. That works pretty sweet.
Nice.
Yeah. I give that like a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Having any problems with it.
Okay.
I was looking for the ambient because I think the meter reads ambient on it. I think on the outside, right? I'll give you the ambient temperature and the internal temperature.
Mine does not.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind then.
But it's integrated directly into maybe it's a different version because it goes directly to the Traeger.
Oh.
So it's not like an independent meter.
So the RFX, you have like your little receiver box. I don't know how close it has to be. I just set it next on the smoker because I don't really. But it has a plug to put a probe in to have an ambient probe inside the smoker if you want to. But I do like the wireless because when you go to wrap a brisket, you don't have to pull it out, stick it back in.
Yeah.
So that's handy. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then actually Amber got me one of those like cheese graters that suction cups to the counter. Instead of having to hand grate it, you can suction cup it. And it's got a crank on it. Well, Heavy C has one too. He's told me about it. Nice. So we got one but you got to be kind of slow, but some force with it. Otherwise you can gum it up if you don't pull the cheese out as it's going. There might be better ones out there maybe. But yeah, that was a pretty solid. Because I thought I had to shred up 4 cups of cheese. But I did not. But any version of those, I'm sure it's good. Or if you can get one for your KitchenAid. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. I think the next step is try to make some sausages.
Oof.
Like I might try some like chicken sausages and maybe throw a little like beef fat in there.
Yeah, that's definitely on my list because I have a shit ton of brown pork.
Yeah.
That I need to do something with. And
I don't know if I have the notes from when I took that class, or I don't know if I need to take that class again. At the dude from Cure, he did one at Helping You Barbecue. Well, yeah, check out their classes too. If that guy comes out, it's good to do.
Yeah.
But other than that, they have the new seasoning out there. Blues Hog's coming out with a bunch of new sauces.
Yeah,
Kind of want to try some of those.
Yeah.
I think that Helping Barbecue is going to get them
Oh.
in the next, like, I was out there last weekend, so maybe this week or next week they're getting them.
Yeah.
So other than that, I don't really have any other good barbecue. You can never have too many smokers. I did learn that.
Yeah.
When we were out there, Amber was talking to him. She's like, he's got like 5 smokers. And then Ron's like, I have 16. And Amber thinks that doesn't count because he has a barbecue business.
It's fine.
But, I did talk one of my clients into buying the Traeger tabletop because he has a bigger smoker and he just bought the little Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, he thinks it's great for just him and his wife. But he actually did use the griddle part. I have not used that yet.
Oh.
I think he like made some steaks on there or
Yeah.
something, I think.
All right.
So those little tabletop ones, if it's just you and your wife and you don't always want to fire up a big smoker, they're whether you do Green Mountain or Traeger, I'm sure there's all kinds of them out there, other brands.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty solid. You don't burn as much fuel. You can fit like 2 pounds of meat on there. I think you can fit a rack of ribs maybe on that Ranger to make it look
You're
like
supposed
it.
to be able to, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if 2, but you can fit 1 rack of ribs for sure. So if you want something that's not going to burn a bunch of fuel, like if you have a bigger 1300 like I do, or Matt's massive fucking XL,
I think there's so much pellets.
you just burn so many pellets like just to cook like 4 chicken breasts.
Yep.
So, and that thing gets up to 400 quick, that little one.
Yeah.
And so easy to clean out real quick if you want to get to 400, make wings. He did try the old mayo on the wings, and he said he really liked it. So, yeah, that's all the barbecue adventure I've had so far.
I'm hungry now.
I know, I am hungry. You got any other thing? You got anything else? That's it?
Nope. That's
All right.
it.
Well, guys, get out there and barbecue. Like, subscribe, share, follow, and we'll see you guys next time.